Hello and welcome to the Barrel Roll Post-Credit Show.
Hi.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
And we're here to talk about games we've played, movies we've watched, and other sort of nerd junk we have done over the last week.
Yeah.
Tweeting it.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
That probably won't happen.
I probably won't, yeah. it'll come up later like, did you know Barrel Roll News tweeted?
If you missed, in case you missed it.
In case you missed it, Barrel Roll News was
here.
live at some point. I never miss it, man.
Well, I might start missing it. This might be my last week for a while.
Yeah, well, you're
But let's see how things go first.
Yeah, let's just slow
I'm
that
jumping
puppy
ahead.
down and yeah.
I'm jumping ahead.
No, look at that. Barrel Roll News just tweeted. Yep.
There you go.
All right, cool. So,
Stop.
I can start. I got a PlayStation 4
Yeah.
yesterday.
But time.
So I was laughing because honestly, like I was even telling people at school, because one person's like, "How have you not had a PlayStation 4 yet?" Because they know me as, you know, a video game person and that kind of stuff. And,
Next you'll get, you have an Xbox. Easy answer.
yeah. Hold on, I'm playing with the background.
Oh, because we're fuzzy. We're a little.
Just a little. Oh, and a dog. There.
Which
earthquake caused that to happen. Either way, I finally got a PlayStation because what I did was, and if you've been watching this show ever, what I said was, when Spider-Man comes out, I will get a PlayStation. And then I kind of went, well, okay, when Spider-Man comes out, if they release a special PlayStation with it, then I will get it. And Sony clearly watches our show because they were like, we need Nick to get a PlayStation. Yeah. Which so far has done very well for Sony because before I even had the PlayStation, I already owned God of War, Uncharted 4, Infamous, Horizon. So they did very well off of me, and I didn't even have a PlayStation yet.
Yes, their back catalog is.
Which is why awesome. I was happy to buy a PlayStation for it, like we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Cool games. I knew I was going to play stuff. I might as well just get the system.
Okay.
But I might as well wait till there's something like I'm really jazzed to play. So.
And it was worth the wait.
So far. So here's my thing with Spider-Man. We've both played some Spider-Man.
Not as much as I would have liked.
No.
I've played some.
We've played some Spider-Man. I'm not saying it's like the bestest Spider-Man game.
I'm saying it's the bestest. I'll go that far and say it's the best.
The web swinging's tight, which is good. It needs to be. Once you get...
I'm not super fast with my swing.
I'm getting there. So
yeah,
like
it's my speed that I'm having.
So I've done the update, or not the update, but the upgrade one, where you can swing once and then swing, and not swing, but like
web line.
Web line, yeah. Done that one. I've done the other one too, where you get the boost off of the jump. So I do the boost jump thing, and then as you come up like 3/4 of the way up the arc. Oh, good. As you come up the arc, press jump. You get this. You keep the speed going, and I've gotten fairly quick. So I'm good on this swinging.
It's not like there's been a mission yet that I need to be speedy.
There's one in Central Park at some point, but you can literally just web zip from tree to tree and go. Yeah. Like it wasn't like I was like, oh no, I almost didn't make that. Yeah. But the swinging's been tight in other games, so like that's my thing. I'm like, as I was playing it, I'm like, all right. New York is impressive as holy cow.
Gorgeous.
Like this is, you know, obviously PS4 doing its thing, going like, look what we can do. So again, impressive. But the big thing to a Spider-Man game is always going to be the story, and so far, the only problem I have had. And this is not with them, this is just because Marvel took it in this direction, was Peter Parker's parents were not federal agents working on a thing.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. There's
in the game, yeah.
He mentions it for like 2 seconds, and I'm like, I will not hold this against you.
But I find what they do well, though, is the conflicting between being a superhero and real life stuff, even right off the bat.
Well, so, and then it's even, they really do, and then what's kind of funny is, before you get, and I mean they've done this in other Spider-Man games, but before you can play like the next story mission, Peter's like, oh, I've got time to go just, you know, do some stuff around New York. So you do one little mission, and all of a sudden, you're getting a call from your boss going like, Peter, we've got this thing going on. Where are you? And he's like, oh, no. And I'm like, I just took a picture of a building. How am I late already? Like, holy smokes.
You really don't know.
I really just like, click. Dog. I think the characterization of most of the characters is good.
I'm a little surprised by one of the characters that he's not already who he is in the comics.
Me too. I know who you're talking about. I was intrigued by that one. Yeah. There's some cool twists because when I started the game, I'm like, where does this take place? Are we trying to tie to the movies? Are we trying to tie to the comics?
It's its own thing.
They're going for this is their own Spider-Man universe. Yeah. So,
and as we kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
I like you actually get to play as
Peter Parker. Yeah.
Not just web swinging all the time. You got to go to your work which is a lab and work on your costume.
It's a basic puzzle thing. You have to get conduit from here to there.
Yeah, and then almost. Yeah, and then you're working on your actual job.
Yeah.
Because you got to confer or work on the stuff with another scientist.
Yeah. Which I think is, I dig it.
Stop pulling things.
That was me. There. You have 2 on your bone. You don't need the cord with the bone.
But yeah, it's...
Yeah. Characterization's cool.
I need to work on my dodging skills.
Yes. The combat for me, it's good. I need to get better at it. It's like the same thing with swinging. I messaged you guys yesterday, and I'm like, the swinging takes some getting used to. And now I'm into a groove. And every once in a while, if you do like the web zip line thing, he does some really cool animations. Like if you go close to a crane, he will go like through the bars of the crane. Like they've done some really cool stuff to make it look like he's moving through the city.
Yeah. And there's the humor in it.
Yeah.
There's only one part that really kind of made me chuckle was the spider cop.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That was great.
My wife was watching me play, and he's sitting there, and it's like, Spider Cop is here to da-da-da-da-da-da. He's doing his whole thing.
He's talking to the
Captain.
Yeah, the cap. I can't remember her actual name.
Yuri.
She's like, really?
Really? No, we're doing this again.
This.
Oh man! And then you get to a certain part of doing those missions, and
it's a young man.
And again, yeah, my wife's watching. He's talking. He's like, oh, da, da, da. It's like it's growing on her, and my wife is sitting there. No, it's not.
Cat, are you there? She's too emotional in retirement.
Spider.
Half man, half spider.
Oh, cop.
It was great.
No, that part's been good. So in the story, just as a basis, he's been out of school, like high school, I guess, for about 6 years, because I found you have to find backpacks in the city as a collectibles thing, and each of them has something stupid inside the backpack. So one of them, he opens it, and he's like, oh my god, and it's his old gym shirt. And he's like, I meant to wash this like 6 years ago, Miss Midtown High School. So I'm like, okay, so it's been about 6 years since he's been done high school.
Yeah. Or at least 6 years since that gym class.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's also gone to MSU, so he's gone to university.
Yep.
Because one of his backpacks has his thesis paper in it for, like that kind of thing. So it's kind of like, all right, we've got a fairly young Peter Parker still, and then the other part too is then you get a little bit. This is a little bit into the game, but it's him and Mary Jane were together. It's been about 6 months since they broke up.
But she knows who he is.
Yes,
she does.
She knows he is Spider-Man. And I'm not sure if Aunt May.
Not yet.
I don't know. I do like Aunt May, though. I'm not sure if you've run into the character yet, but she's...
That's my next mission, is go to her party.
Go to her party, yeah.
So I assume that's...
You will meet her. I think her characterization in this game is pretty cool. They went with the... Not Marissa Tomei young, but not, like, the Tobey Maguire movies. Old, yeah.
Retired.
This one's helping out at a like, homeless shelter and that kind of stuff. Doing that kind of thing, so which I think is always good. Aunt May.
Different aspect.
Yeah.
Different. You can always have a different version of her.
But that's my thing with Aunt May is it's like it should be Aunt May, not Grandma May. Aunt May, like she was she's an aunt. She's not a 80-year-old woman like, oh Peter, what am I gonna do? My husband's dead, and it's like, well, yeah, he was 100. Like,
yep.
Duh.
Yeah.
So if Peter's 20-something in this game, obviously his aunt is still, like, a functioning, working person within, the workforce. So.
Yeah.
It's cool to see her in this game.
Do you listen to the Jonah?
Oh, yeah, I love JJ's show.
What do you do? I'm a plumber. Then go fix my toilet.
Yeah. Go fix my toilet.
You don't have an opinion on this.
JJ. Yeah. So, and then I thought that part was cool. So Peter has worked at the Bugle. If you listen to some of the stuff.
Yeah, I remember when I used to take pictures all the time.
Right. So he's quit the Bugle, obviously to pursue science. JJ also quit the Bugle because he's on the radio now, which I thought was a really good way of transitioning JJ into doing something, because print media, I'm not sure if you guys have figured this out yet, is dead. So, as someone who worked in print media, it's dead. So, it's kind of like, alright. But yeah, solid game. And
that, I said, I had to work on because when I did the combat,
yeah,
I'm going from like, okay, this looks like a Batman type
yes,
thing.
there's a rhythmic type, like,
where I'm just gonna
hit the square button at the right time.
Punch. And I was kind of thinking about this myself this morning, where in a Batman game, you knock a guy behind you, you switch over to someone else, and you can just fall out of sequence. I'm not doing that. Where if a guy's behind me, and it might be that I'm pressing the wrong button.
No, you don't switch that easily.
Like, it's I knock the guy back behind me. He's still doing it, but I switch over to someone else.
Yeah.
I can't just press back on the left joystick and press it. And
Spidey doesn't just
he doesn't
hop back.
do that.
No.
You have to actually turn the camera and do that. So that's my thing. And then it's the dodging.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out the dodging still.
I have found that, like, I wasn't using his gadgets as much as I probably should have been, like impact webbing and all of that jazz. So
I'm mostly the rapid fire.
So I'll do that for a bit, but now I found, like, at the beginning of a fight, I unlocked the web bomb.
Okay.
It's legitimately a grenade, and you whip it at one of the guys in the middle, and it just webs up anybody in his vicinity.
And then just go to town.
And then just start, like...
I think I only have the web...
The impact one?
The impact one and the drone.
Yeah.
Or whatever you have.
Yeah, and as you play through the game, it unlocks the other one. But yeah, like, it's like... That was my thing. I got the web bomb, and I'm like, this is so useful, because those big thugs...
Yeah.
That you have to web up or dodge before you can...
one of my deaths happened
me
on
too.
the rooftop.
It happens constantly with those guys.
Well, because I thought I was pressing the dodge.
Yeah.
But he smoked me, like, 3 times in a row, and it knocked,
does massive damage.
3 like... Oh, alright.
3 hits, dead. So yeah, those guys... And then I also have the, like, perfect timing dodge thing.
Yeah, I have that. And then I have the slow down where it slows it down for me.
Oh, nice. Nice.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not much, but I need that extra little bit of time.
And then I also unlocked because you can unlock different suits, which I think is really, really cool. So, but to unlock them, you have to do, research points and this and that, and like all these things.
Bonus things to...
bonus stuff to do, yeah.
Do certain things while you're fighting guys.
Crime, yeah.
I am more concerned about not being shot than trying to...
Well, if it helps, that is the bonus objective if you're chasing a car down.
Don't get shot.
Don't get shot before you take the car down.
Okay.
I know. I am horrible at that. But I unlocked just the classic suit you start the game with.
Yeah.
And that unlocked also my special when I hit both joysticks is I just web everybody up.
Oh, okay.
So that's my other one, is it's like, if I am in desperate need, I just hit those 2 buttons. Like, I save that one, and it's like, oh my god, I'm about to die. Click.
Yeah.
Everybody gets webbed up, and I'm like...
and build your focus meter,
and then
your
hit
focus
down.
meter is either heal yourself or finish the guy off real quick.
In a one-mover, but yeah.
I don't know, in the middle of a fight, I'm not really concerned about healing myself. I'm more to finish them off.
I heal myself more often because usually that's what saves my butt.
Well, because I'm too focused on moving
hitting.
and I don't want to just stop for a second.
You don't have to stop. You just hit the button and keep fighting. But yeah, like it's frantic, which I mean is a Spider-Man fight.
And I think that's what I'm not used to, is because the Batman stuff is so calculated. You get in the rhythm of things.
The upgrades help too. So there's one as you upgrade your powers and your skills, I guess, is once you've webbed a guy up, you can press triangle and whip them around.
Yeah, I have that one.
You can upgrade it to the point where you can do it with the big thugs.
Okay.
And if you aim at a wall, because they're all webbed up, they'll just stick to the wall and they're out of the fight. So I'm like, all right, Echo, keep moving.
You're too big.
Or sit down. One of the, oh god. Oh, we've lost the... Mayday! 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 Oh god! The technology is fighting back. Or the dogs are, because we're not paying enough attention.
Yeah, the other power I kind of like too is that if I notice them, where I pick up random objects and I start, and it clears everybody out of my
it hits everybody
vicinity, which helps the not dodging.
Yeah.
I need to work on stealing the guns out of people's heads. So.
And then the next one under that is you hit them with their gun after.
Good.
Also helpful.
To be honest, the perfect time to know it, or the dodge, is not that tough.
No.
Because really, by the time my reaction happens anyways,
I'm
already at that point.
Yeah, me too.
And then I web him in the face.
Yeah, like, I'm like,
Which is nice for a guy with a gun, where I'm dodging and then that delays them for half a second.
I am Spider-Man!
Beat them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
Yeah, but it's definitely using your gadgets appropriately. That has helped me immensely in combat, where all of a sudden I'm like, oh, right, I have powers where, like, the guy with the gun is right up against the wall. If I shoot him with impact webbing, he's against the wall and he's done. Yeah. So it's just like, it's remembering to do that kind of junk.
It's trying to remember all the buttons.
Also true.
I kind of was like, how do I switch my webbing again? So I'm playing
as I'm pressing all the buttons up top, and all of a sudden I'm like webbing up to a street lamp, and I'm like, this is not helping.
Not what I was doing.
Yeah.
Lots to do.
Lots to do, and lots more that happens afterwards. So it's like the game pretty much does the Assassin's Creed thing where you unlock pieces of the map.
Yeah.
And
I'm very tempted to go after all those towers and just unlock them all.
That is what it did, which is why I got all the backpacks.
But the only problem with that is I feel obligated. Oh, there's a crime.
Oh, I stopped in crime.
I want to do story, but it's like, well, there's a crime.
There's no story in this game. There's crime. There are towers.
Which is what they did well for the Spider-Man 2 game.
Yes.
There's a random things that happen and you have to stop it.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And you feel like Spider-Man, where you're like, again, like I'm
overwhelmed about all these
right,
things.
You're like, okay, I'm going to get that thing, I'm going to get the couple backpacks in this area, and then all of a sudden it's like, the police scanner pops up and it's like, chase going down, or kidnapping, and you're like, well, kidnapping? That sounds serious. I should probably go to help.
They need my help.
Yeah.
I am the backup.
I love that one. It's like, backup's on the way! And I'm like, oh, you think you're so special, don't you, Peter? Yes. Are you narrating yourself? So that's the thing, is they've looked, I think, at all the other Spider-Man video games and looked at what they've done well and pieced them together. And I mean, that is a big part of it to me was the story, and I mean, we talked about this in the newscast, but I don't know there is no big bad. Like, you technically, at the beginning of this game, take out the big bad. Yeah. Story-wise, like, the first mission you have in this game is going after Wilson Fisk. I know where I'm headed.
It makes me think with when they did that old E3 on the Ark, or the Raft or whatever, where you're chasing Vulture around.
Yeah.
Or
Electro first.
Yeah, Electro. Yeah, you're chasing Electro around.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that whole video, they had, it's you.
Yeah.
Now I think I started this, I'm wondering now who this is.
I'm pretty sure I know. But
I think it's one of two people.
Okay, yes. That's my thing. So, like, the game has done a very good job of, like I say, I don't I feel like Spider-Man. I'm just like, there is a point, and you're not at it yet if you haven't done that, but like Herman Schultz appears, the Shocker.
Yeah.
So you got to deal with the Shocker. But it's not like, oh no, crazy big bad guys out there like Herman's at it again. Can you just go deal with him, please? Like
we don't want it.
Which I love about the Shocker, because in the comics that really is like the 90s animated show built the Shocker up to be a bigger bad guy than he actually was. In the comics, he is that guy that miraculously like makes bail or makes it out of prison or escapes and is like, I'm gonna go rob a bank again, and like Peter just shows up and it's like, Herman, like he's at the point where he's just like, Herman, why? Like, come on, man.
We've been over this.
Yeah, like even in the fight with him in the game, you kind of web him up for part of it, and Herman starts trying to escape, and Spidey's just like, come on, man, just stay strung up. Like, don't make me beat you up more, please. I don't want to have to do this, Herman. Like, we've got a good relationship, you and me.
Yeah.
Like, why are you robbing banks again? You know better than this. You're smarter than this. Like, look at the tech you make. So, there's that. Like, but I haven't really fought a big.
What would you consider a big bad, though?
I guess Fisk, but that was again.
Fisk, Green Goblin.
Yeah, like there's no.
Venom?
Sure, like even he hasn't. Like there's, although there is.
I don't know if they will.
They won't, because it's actually really funny. One of the backpack items is a card from when you left the Daily Bugle.
Yeah. And
one of them is like, "It was great working with you, Eddie Brock."
Okay, now you're just opening up the possibility.
He's in the game. Like Eddie Brock himself is in the game, whether he's Venom or not, and how long ago you got that card. Like it's all. I'm like.
Now maybe I have a third person, because when they honestly when you go, it's you. It's like a surprise, and if that's what the card you get with Eddie Brock, then Eddie Brock could be that.
I don't think it's Eddie.
Leading that group of guys against you.
I have an idea on who it is, but I am further along, so I think I have an idea. But like I say, it's kind of cool not knowing. It's kind of cool, like the bad guys are kind of all put away. So you're Spider-Man, just solving crimes and living life, and that is a lot of the stuff. Is like, oh, I have to make it to Aunt May's party in time. Oh, I have to make it to my job in time. Oh, like those are the missions right now, and it's like, all right.
Just getting a slow building up.
Yep. And I mean, something does happen. Obviously, when Mary Jane enters the picture, there's like that part of the story is a little bit different.
Overall good though. But yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, good game. So that's my thing, is like I keep looking at it and I'm like,
still,
that's fine. I'm like the web swinging to me feels very Spider-Man 2, but there's pieces of it that look, feel like, Web of Shadow and this and that and everything else. Like
it's very tempting to put on the
noir costume.
Yeah, like I saw ooh.
What I do feel nice about with the costumes is you can change them without changing the power sets and stuff. Like,
yeah,
it's just an aesthetic thing. My only concern is I'm going to get into a fight and they're going to mention like the big white spider or something now that's on my chest, and I'll be in like the Homecoming costume or something like that, and I'll be like.
And the other one intrigued me is the Iron Spider. I'm like, oh, nice. Yeah, good game so far.
And then. You actually get something for getting all the collectibles.
A trophy?
Other than a trophy, like costumes are built into like the backpacks. If you get all 60 backpacks or whatever, or 55 backpacks, you get a costume.
Okay.
If you do, there's more missions that unlock later. If you do all of those, you get a costume.
Missions.
They're collectible.
Are they construction? I assume.
Not the construction sites. It's another.
I assume if you do all the construction sites, you get another.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't done all the construction sites.
The highest speed I've gotten to is 120.
Oh yeah.
That's because I actually climbed the Chrysler building.
Just jumped off.
Because I thought that's what I had to do, is to take a picture.
Ah, yes.
And I'm like, nope, that's not what I have to do.
No, the picture taking was confusing to me. But yeah, like to be fair, Web of Shadows wasn't the greatest game in the entire universe.
I don't even think I started it.
But it had some good aspects. Combat was part of it, that kind of stuff, and you can kind of feel a bit of that in this game. I love Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
Oh yeah.
But, and again, you can kind of feel parts of that in this game. You know, some of the sneaking elements and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
I hope I get a $20.99 costume.
there's got to be the $20.99 costume.
You'd think.
They'd be stupid not to $20.99 costume. It's got to be in there.
Give you the Spider-Gwen costume.
That'd be intriguing.
Spider-Man dressed as Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen. I wouldn't say no.
Randomly throw it out there.
I wouldn't say no. Also on my PlayStation, I played a bit of NHL 18. So yes, I got last year's version of hockey. It was cheaper.
It's because of who's on the cover.
One, I thought that was cool because it's like, again, we're from Edmonton, so I mean,
We finally got a guy on the cover.
now if I would have bought the like $8,000 version of NHL 19, I could have had Wayne Gretzky as the little icon thing. But I'm like, eh. For $30, I get a hockey game, and I haven't had a hockey game since my last PlayStation. So I think it was, you know,
A while.
it's been 5 or 6 years since I've played hockey. So it was
Little
nice,
rusty.
just a little rusty. I do like, so all I played through was the Team Canada training camp stuff. Just to,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of, again, that was a really
It's
cool.
a nice way introduction
Yeah.
to it.
Like, who is it? Rene, the coach, or
Rennie.
Rennie
He's the head guy for Canada.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, you're gonna learn how to play hockey, and I'm like, yes, sir. Like, okie doke. And then
I wonder in the U.S. though if that's like American.
I don't know.
Americanized.
Maybe they
And
look at
Sweden,
location.
there's a Swedish guy talking.
Maybe. But yeah, I thought that was a
Forced.
really cool way of doing it. Was all of a sudden it's like, you know, here's the basics to play, and then they show you some videos. So if you've never actually watched hockey before, I don't know why you're buying a hockey game, but they do. They show you the videos of like, here's how to make a pass, and here's offsides, and here's, you know, if you're gonna deke, this is what, you know, this kind of deke looks like. And it's
I really don't. I shoot.
I'm
a shooter.
We'll see. So I haven't. That's all I've done is the training stuff, just to kind of get a feel for how, you know, the game changes, and not drastically, but it's been 6 years.
It never really does.
Ever since they added the skill stick and stuff in, it's kind of pretty much been the right stick does most of the stuff with your.
Yeah, with McDavid, they're changing the game because of the edging and that. No.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Like, and that's my thing. I really loved when they announced NHL 18. There was the threes thing with the mascots. And like all, I'm like, you know what?
It's goofy.
Exactly. So I'm sitting there going, you know, I can have some fun. It's cheaper than getting the new version, and I do get McDavid as my little icon now, which I think is totally rad.
Just pumped him.
So I'm like, cool. So yeah, that's all I've done in NHL 18 is the training camp stuff. But I thought that was cool. I skipped half the videos.
Well, yeah, if you know how,
because I know how to play hockey.
Basically, how to.
They're like, learn how to pass, and I'm like, and then they're gonna show me a video about passing, and I'm like,
no thanks.
I think I've got this down.
Oh, thank you.
I might watch the Oilers, and we're not always the greatest at passing, but I've got the gist of how it should work.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I think all I have left is like the advanced deking
and
stuff.
those are tough. I think after a while you can skip them.
And I'll just back out and actually start the Be a Pro mode or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's usually what.
And how far back you can go. I like how with the Be a Pros, how far you can go.
Oh yeah.
You can either start as kind of a drafted WHL guy.
Yep.
And work your way up you have to play a few years in there.
Cool. I dig that.
Before you can go NHL, or you can go kind of your final year at WHL or whatever, OHL, whatever you want to do. Junior hockey. And you're in a Memorial Cup.
And then your performance there determines
where you are in the draft, or you just get drafted, or you just automatically join a team.
No, I'll go.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, I'll start from.
I know, because my brother has a game too.
Yeah.
He went like he played a year of junior.
Yeah. And
that was the year he's going to get drafted. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go when I first get drafted by the juniors. It's like, you're going to play like 3 years of junior, but I don't care.
It's fine.
I really don't care.
It's probably better for me anyways.
It's work up my stuff. I will be the best player.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. At least I can build up my skills and stuff. Some people were complaining because NBA 2K19 comes out this week.
Yes.
And people were complaining, and mostly because in NBA 2K19, the Be a Pro mode is all dependent on their virtual currency, which you can purchase. So you can essentially
pay to win again.
Pay to win, pay to increase your character. And the only reason that it's kind of weird in that game is because your Be a Pro mode is how you play a lot of the online features.
Yeah.
You play with that character.
So you're super...
So you can either play the RPG part, like in NHL, because that's the part I love, is like working my way to being
I mean, it's not as in-depth as some games.
No, but I like the piece where it's like, you start low
yeah.
and work your way up to being a really good whatever. Same with basketball, when I played the Be a Pro, it's like, oh, you're going to work your way up. So for me, I was totally fine. But to go online and be going against all these other people, it should be two very separate modes.
Yeah. You
should not be able to pay to increase your character.
And be the best online guy.
And be the best online guy day 2.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody else who's playing the game like you normally would in that mode is stuck back. So people are having this argument. It's like, it shouldn't be in the game. It's you RPG people that are killing it. And it's like, well, no, it should be two separate game modes, dum-dum.
Yeah.
Like, there should be the story mode, and there should be, you know, the online play stuff.
Yeah.
Where everybody's pretty much just the same.
Who can be the best online guy?
Right. So...
what's the reward in that?
And I don't play NHL online. Like, I mean, I might, like, if you want to do some stuff, but...
I've tried online.
No. Start our own team.
Yay.
Look at us lose
every game.
It's how Brian and I do in World of Warcraft in the arenas.
Drink every goal against.
Got into one of the arenas, like Brian and I are like, we should try this out, 2v2. Like, how hard could this... Never mind.
Bring in your druids.
We did. That was with the druids. That did not go well. it was a bad time. I'm playing more 2 Point Hospital. So my hospital simulator.
How is that going?
There's a bit of a glitch in the game.
Uh-oh.
And I'm not sure if it's really a glitch or if it's kind of intended. But you have your general practitioners, and they're your doctor who goes, I think you have the flu.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you to the lab to get checked out. Then they go to the lab, but just like in real life, you go to the lab's not, they're not calling you going, you have the flu.
Yeah.
You have to go back to your doctor tells you have the flu, or whatever it is that you have. Same thing happens in the game, so the GP sends them here,
yeah,
and then they have to go back to the GP to get their results. So the GP not only has new people coming in, but also all the people he sent away, so they can get stupidly backed up.
Can you have more than one?
Yes. But I had, like, one of my hospitals had, like, 5 GPs, and they were all, like, 8 people deep.
Huh.
And I'm like, this is insane.
This is a medi-center.
So, yeah. So I'm sitting there going, oh my god, like, I'm running an emergency room. So what I ended up figuring out for me, and the internet seems to just be like, it's broken, fix it. And I'm like, well, no, whoa. I am the hospital administrator, allow me to do my job.
Yeah.
If you click on the GP's office, it shows you the queue for where people are waiting. So you can either move the people who went to get checked out and are just waiting for their results up.
Yeah.
Or you can look and it goes, hey, we've diagnosed this person to a point where we're 94% sure this is what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
You can just send them straight for treatment and they skip the GP. So for me, it's like, every once in a while you kind of just pause the game and go through all the GP lists.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're all down to seeing 4 people again. And it's manageable, and I'm like, oh, this is, okay, we're good now. I feel better. Another complaint about the game that people have had is that deaths don't mean anything.
That's a game. You don't want it to mean too much.
And so that's the thing. It not too much, because hospitals, you're going to lose lives.
Yeah.
But it should be like your hospital rating should drop after, like, you know, every 5th death sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't. In fact, death actually increases your research points. So if you're researching something and your janitor sucks up a ghost, you get like 5 extra research points because you've sucked up a ghost.
It's a fictitious game.
And that's the piece, is it's fun. So I have no problem with that. I've hit a hospital now, though, where I am starting to have issues just trying to manage what they want me to do versus, which is good. Like, I mean, that's what you want in that kind of game. You just don't want to be like, I build hospital will do good. I sit here, wait.
Yeah.
You want to be constantly trying to do stuff and this and that and solve problems and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's fun. It's goofy. It's different. I like it. The problems people are having with it, I'm kind of like, it's a weird problem to have.
It always is. There's always those people.
So, so yeah, 2 Point Hospital, fun game if you like Theme Hospital, if you like that kind of stuff. It's
the management.
Yeah, it's
stuff.
Yeah, the management stuff. It's.
I know it got good reviews. Well,
it did.
A few different sites.
Yeah, like they've been doing well. So.
And it's still free, or do you have to pay for it now?
Oh no, this is.
I thought it was free for a bit.
No, it's always been. I pre-ordered it
okay.
ages ago when they finally like pre-ordered it, and then I could just pre-install it, and I was like, all right. When's it coming out? The only the funniest part of the game, and I guess it's true to real life. If you build a cafeteria, it solves all the people's food problems because they know exactly where to go.
Yeah.
The problem with the cafeteria is they don't leave the cafeteria until they're done their food. So if they're in line for the GP's office, and they're eating, the queue system doesn't go like, it's been 5 minutes, let's go to the next patient.
Yeah.
It's like, we will wait for Bob to finish his meal and then see him. Meanwhile, there's like 12 people that back up behind Bob. So, again, to me, that's kind of as me being the person running the hospital, it's like, well, where's Bob and why isn't Bob in the GP's office? Oh, he's eating. Never mind, Bob's now at the bottom of the line.
Good.
And now we'll just keep seeing. But I feel like that's part of the game. And a lot of people are like, no, it should do this for me. And I'm like, well, but really, then you're just watching the game play. Like I said last week, the game already does the good part of if someone's up for a promotion, it tells me someone's up for a promotion and I can raise their pay and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it goes, they've saved enough lives or diagnosed enough people or done whatever they were supposed to do. They've earned a promotion. And it's like, thanks for not making me have to go through my staff all the time.
Oh, yeah.
To double check and make sure. Yeah, it's one little quality of life thing. But all the people complaining about the GP stuff, I'm like, I feel like that's...
Well, I mean, it's kind of going back to Spider-Man. That's what people complained about with, oh, the suit got downgraded since E3. The puddle moved. Yeah. It's not there anymore.
Anybody who wants to complain about that game's graphics is bonkers.
But it's people find stuff to complain
I know.
about. It's...
So... then the only other game I've been playing is WoW. So I was playing 2 Point Hospital like a crazy person, and then Brian messaged me because the guild that I joined on my Alliance character, they have a guild lottery every month. So if you put in a very specific amount of money, you win 10,000 gold and a mount. And he's like, you won! And I thought Brian was just, like, screwing with me to try and get me back into WoW because I've been playing Theme Hospital. And I'm like... Really? And he's like, yes. So I'm like exiting Theme Hospital and logging into WoW, and that was the guild message. Was like, congrats, Goldor, you've won. And I'm like,
yeah.
Wowee!
What mount did you get?
The fell beasts with the 2 heads.
Oh, nice.
But it's green.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're fancy. So I'm like, cool. Like, wow, that's very cool. And then Brian and I did an island expedition together, and then played a little bit. And I'm like, okay, now I actually have to go to bed because I work tomorrow. But like, But so that was kind of... I didn't WoW a lot, mostly because of 2 Point Hospital, and I'm not going to WoW a lot this week, mostly because of Spider-Man and God of War and NHL 18 and work.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's just like life. I'm like, oh man,
yeah,
I need more summer off.
I haven't done a lot of the new stuff.
Yeah.
I
don't even know Warfronts yet. Like, I know nothing.
I haven't even finished the main stories. Like, I'm still achievement hunting.
Yeah.
I am now in Wrath of Lich King, Dungeons and
Raids.
You're
doing pretty good. It's pretty.
I've worked through everything else.
Brian was looking at it and he's like, man, like, Ding's been doing pretty good. And I'm like, well, he's trying to go through, all the dungeons and raids and stuff from all the stuff. And he goes, he knows how many there are, right? Like, in Classic. And I'm like, he's done Classic. And he's like, what?
Done Classic.
And I'm like, he did all the Classic ones. He's done that one. He's moved
Outland.
He's like, holy cow. Like, Brian was super impressed with how many you run through. And I'm like, well, Brian, like, you and I have run through some of them. You know it doesn't take long.
No.
The hardest part is finding them half the time.
Blackrock Spire.
Yeah, pain in the butt, right? Or waiting for the cinematic
of
stuff to go
time.
through. So you fought Illidan,
Yeah, that was very underwhelming. I didn't get that end cinematic.
where they just capture him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the whole, they're just standing there talking to him, and it was done. I'm like, this is
That's it.
it? Like, oh.
Ta-da!
I had to go run back through this to go find the entrance again.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I didn't. Actually, because that was I made sure that was my
That was your last one, so you could just...
If I first stoned out of there, I'm like, okay,
Next!
Wrath of the Lich King.
Time to take out the Lich King.
That's where, in that expansion, they really went, I think that's where achievements started.
Yes.
So they really went in depth with specific things that have to happen in these. And the stupid thing, and I think this is also where they introduced the difference between 10 and 25
Yes.
raids. Yeah, and I've read online that if I do, I just have it set on 25
Right.
raid and heroic.
Yeah.
Because
Just get her done.
why not?
Yep.
Which is, it's actually starting to become like, it's not just a whirlwind
Oh,
spin anymore. It's
Couple of them.
I have to, well, I'm actually using like
Ooh, moves.
dragon roar, and it's knocking them down. But I found out that you go on the 25-man raid.
Yeah.
Even if you go back and set to the 10, it doesn't reset till next week.
Until next week, yeah.
So I'm like, oh, so I'll just do all these, backtrack,
Yeah. Do them again.
do the 10, which is going to be far easier than
Yes.
the 25.
But then you get it, and then you just have to think about it as you're just collecting appearance loot, essentially, as
A
you're
lot
going
of pets.
and a lot of pets.
I have a new mount because of one of these dungeons. I got the bronze dragon.
Nice.
So.
There's an achievement for getting all the different dragons too.
Yeah, and and there's I actually died in one of the Lich King
Yep.
dungeons. It's the dragon because you have one where you have to ride up on the dragon.
Yep.
And the dragon that I had was
You have to know, yeah.
wasn't
once,
doing anything.
Once
It
you know
wasn't-
that fight well, then it's it's okay. But
even I read up online with a button pattern, but even when I was doing it, I'm losing health like crazy.
Yep.
It's taking, and it's down like it dropped me.
Yep.
Like I fell off the dragon, died. I'm like, oh, so this is how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And then I went back up, tried again, and I died. But for some reason, this time I was over a platform and I parachuted down, and I was still technically in the fight. And I was like, I have two range moves. One is one is my little axe throw. So I'm like, okay, little axe throw. So I threw it. The dragon actually came down to me.
Oh.
And I beat it.
Yeah, there you go.
But the problem with that dungeon is you need to
Oh,
beat
the
it
loot.
on the... No, you need to... That's
Oh.
not the problem. You need to beat that dragon while on a dragon.
Dragon.
So pretty much what I think I have to do is... Because it's... I can't remember which one it's called. It's
The Nexus.
somewhere in the Nexus.
Ah.
It's one of those
I know
ones.
which one you're talking. The dragon's whole thing. Yeah.
And there's 3 achievements in there.
Yep.
Specific ones where no one can use a red or no one can use a or
Oh,
blue.
that's right.
And so I could get away with doing 2 runs of that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I have to essentially start the fight on the dragon, get knocked down on purpose, get the thing down to almost next to nothing, and then
And then
bring the
hop back.
dragon back up and do it again.
Finish it off, yeah.
It's, oh my god. But yeah, the achievements on it have really definitely stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
I really like I'm going to say it wrong, butcher this, Naxxramas
You got it.
raid, because there were so many different elements to that.
Yeah,
I actually ran out of room in my bag
Yep.
and going up to him. That was just the 25 raid. I had to go do that again.
Again. All the loot!
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I'm getting lots of gold because of these.
Oh, yeah, no,
Because none
totally
of this loot
helps.
is mine level.
Well, and, yeah.
Right.
So, like I say, you literally gather it. It adds the appearance to your tab if it can.
Some of it I think requires you to put on, but I don't bother doing.
I was gonna say if it's bind on equip, you gotta put it on and then you sell.
I
Like,
don't.
but that's my thing is like I'll put it on and then I sell it and then
I don't even do that. I just if it comes
Yeah.
in my collection, okay.
But yeah, you make a butt ton of money.
There was one. I was glad actually that it's actually kind of a coincidence.
Yep.
Which I have to talk to you and Brian about, which I don't know when we're gonna have time. Our other friend
Yes.
wanted to do Karazhan
Yes.
for It was a higher. It was one of the later expansions.
Yes.
Because there's two raids
There
or
is.
dungeons in that.
Yeah.
One is I was actually happened to do
By accident.
BrNN Crusade.
Yeah.
But and then he wanted to do the later one.
Okay.
So we ran through that.
Yeah.
Because there's every person you add in that party is a 20% chance that specific amount drops if you do certain amount of time. And he knows the route, so he would have the guide, and we just run through everything.
Nice.
He would like to add more people, so the chance increases.
Chance goes up.
But only one person gets it.
So we have to run it 4 times, is what you're saying.
But it's a mythic, so things can actually beat us up, even though we're high level. But anyway, he did that, and he's like, we exited because we didn't get the mount.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, do you have any dungeons or anything you need help with? We're right here. I actually need to do a Karazhan one right now. And I'm glad he was there, because there was that chess fight.
Yes.
I don't know how I would have done that solo.
I had to look that one up. But yeah. That was also cool.
I'm glad he was there, because he knew more. Because I've never done it. So he knew that one. He's like, take control of this. Heal me. I'll go and it took us 3 tries, but we did it.
Yeah, that was a cool dungeon too.
It's a cool dungeon, but I really don't know how you.
It's tough to solo. You have to watch. Like I watched.
Yeah, that's what
I watched
his
videos.
wife said, because his wife used to play too. It's like, yeah, I needed to watch the video on that.
Yeah. Thank God for YouTube, because like,
well, that's it. Actually, I found a neat little YouTube guy.
Yeah.
Because when I can't find the entrance, I just YouTube, and there's I'll give credit to him.
Yes.
It's games.
Oh yeah.
And it's literally, this is where I start from.
This is where I fly.
Follow my route to go to where the dungeon is.
Yeah.
And he.
I've probably watched his videos.
He gets it's a 40-second video. He gets you there.
Yep.
And thanks for watching.
Yeah. Start here and move along, please. And it's like, all right, cool.
So yeah, I am.
I'd
say halfway down the dungeons.
Yep.
But like I said, the raids I'm gonna have to go back and.
If you do Ice Crown and get Invincible, I will have to kill you, because I've been running.
Is that a raid or a dungeon?
That's a raid. That's the one where you fight Darvis. And you get his
25?
horse. Yeah, and you get his horse. I've been running that one for ages, trying to get that stupid horse. Other than that, I have watched. So I found a website that has all of my British panel shows that I like to watch, and one of them is the Big Fat Quiz. So it's something they do around Christmas time every year.
Yeah.
It's an hour-and-a-half pub quiz, but with comedians.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be the Big Fat Quiz of the year, so they ask questions about the past year. It's been going on since about 2004. So one, that's fun, because you're like, what happened in 2004 that was like trending or big or this or that or anything else? And then they also started doing Big Fat Quiz of everything, so it's just a general pub quiz show about like history, and it's all right, cool. And then they do Big Fat Quiz of the 80s, 90s, and noughties, so the zeros, like the 2000s. So all in all, there's like 20-some episodes of this to watch, and they're an hour and a half. Now, if I'll fall asleep to some of them, but so I end up missing some, but that's fine. So I've been watching a bunch of those. My wife and I started watching Downsizing, but we've both been under the weather. So she made it about halfway through and fell asleep, because the sickness rolled in, and it was just like, okay. Good movie so far.
You haven't made it through.
Well, I stopped because she fell asleep, and I'm like, well,
yeah.
I watched a little bit further just in case she woke up, and but she wasn't, so I'm like, all right, I'll turn this off. But interesting movie.
Yeah.
Like, cool concept to a story, like the whole shrinking aspect to it all. Definitely plays that line of like drama, comedy, something. It's a think piece kind of movie.
Yeah.
It's got the comedy pieces, the drama pieces. It's so, and Matt Damon. I mean, the guy can act. Like, surprise, surprise, Matt Damon knows how to act. Like, it's like they put him in movies and stuff because he's good. And then my wife and I have been watching a show on Netflix called Stay Here.
Okay.
So it's got one of the old designers from Trading Spaces, Genevieve. She was kind of always She was kind of always the hippie on that show that ran around without shoes on, blonde hair. Either way, I've always liked her designs on that show.
Yeah.
So Netflix was like, here's your own show.
Alright.
So she travels around with this other guy, and he's a real estate dude. And what they do is they help people who are running like Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Increase, either reservations or increase how much money they can charge or like anything like that.
Yeah.
So, like one lady has this house on, I think it's episode 2, a house on Malibu Beach.
Okay.
Like in the rich part of Malibu where all the big fancy people live.
Yeah.
She's got this mansion on the beach. And she's charging like $900 a night. But for that area, like that's
if it's
cheap.
a mansion, you just group buy that.
And that's the pieces. Like the one guy goes, okay, you've got essentially 2 bedrooms because it's a mansion on the beach, so it's not huge.
Yeah. But
he's like, you've got 2 bedrooms. One of them's full of stuff, so you can't even rent it out. So you're renting out 1 bedroom for $900 a night.
Yeah.
And he's like, and there's nothing here, and it's a very interesting concept to. Airbnb isn't just like, hey, come crash on my couch anymore.
Yeah.
It's very much if you're charging $900 a night, what services do you offer? So in Malibu, if you're charging this much a night, there should be champagne and wine and stuff in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there should be this, and it's like, And then it's just cool to see some of the places people bought. So one of the ones we just watched was a guy in Washington, has a fire hall that he has converted into a living space. And it's not as tall as the Ghostbusters one. But that was my thought. I'm like, oh my god. But it was the first African-American fire hall.
Okay.
Like, it's got history to it.
Yeah.
And he just sucked at decorating. Like, that was his shtick. Like, they walked in and Genevieve's like, you brought your furniture from college, didn't you? Like, that's the sofa that's in here. That's, like, everything in there. And he's like, well... And then they went into the kitchen, and there was like a Tupperware container with coffee grounds in it, and spaghetti.
Yeah.
And they're like, so if your guests are coming from like Europe, and they show up at 2:00 in the morning, you've got coffee grounds, no coffee maker, and pasta. Yeah. And he's like, and then they switched to the guy, and he's like, I didn't know I had to babysit these people. But they're like, essentially what you're running is a hotel. Like, you have to think about it like that.
Yeah.
Like, what little things can you do? But then you can charge more. Yeah. There's this piece to it where...
Yeah, and then it becomes more popular.
And that's this big guy, like, that's the English guy that goes around with her. He's like, it is all about getting 5-star ratings on all these websites and getting a presence online.
Yeah.
He's like, do you have Twitter? The guy's like, well, no. And he goes, how do you expect people to find your place? Like...
Well,
like, you have a fire hall. This is big.
Yeah.
Like, this is I should be able to take a picture of this, and you should be able to find it online and be like, oh, yeah, it's my place. You can stay there for this much a night.
Well, even being on these shows, I find, like, the restaurant renovations everywhere. Once they're on TV, popularity is already...
And that helps, too. Like, I mean, that's a big
piece
of it, but... I'm watching all those shows too. You sit there going, how have you stayed in business so long? Is a lot of my questions on the restaurant shows.
Yeah,
this one is legit. Like, the one guy in New York had a brownstone, and it was like a 4-story thing, 9 bedrooms, and he wants to rent to family, so it was like $900 a night.
Yeah,
but it had 7 bedrooms in it, so you could legitimately bring like your entire family and. It's spread out.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, do you want to increase how much you're making? He goes, I want people to know I'm here. He's like, so $900 a night I'm good with. He's like, but I would like it, like, I'm booked 14 nights of the month. I'd like to be booked 28. And they're like, okay. But he's right around the corner from the BIG mural in New York. Like... There's this whole scene there that's got all this stuff going on, so that's what they're trying to go like you have all this stuff going on, man, like da da da. But he was the most enthusiastic guy on one of those shows ever. He's just they're like, you should do this. He's like, okay. Like normally there's pushback. They're like, do I really? Like that's
Yeah.
The only thing that he pushed back at, they're like, well, where's the entrance? So he walked them into the entrance, and there's a bedroom right to the left of the door.
Yeah.
And they're like, is this a lobby or a bedroom? And he's like, yes. And they're like, both? And he's like, yeah. Like, I kind of check him in here, and da-da-da. And they're like, well, but if someone's staying in here, you don't want this to be a lobby. And they're like, so we're going to get rid of this room.
Yeah.
And we're going to make this room one big, long, like, kitchen meeting space. Because if you've got families coming in, this is where they can meet in the morning. This is where they can meet in the evenings. Da-da-da-da-da-da. You're getting rid of a room? And they're going, it's not a room.
It's a
Like that was it. And he's like, oh, okay. Rather than that, like, whatever they wanted to do in the rooms, whatever they want, he's like, okay, sounds good. Cool. Like, done. Just do it. I want
not
people
good
to...
TV.
It was horrible television, but for me, I'm just like, you are such an amicable guy. Like, it's so refreshing to see, because you're just like, I just want people to experience New York and come and stay with my family and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But you just got a really good sense of New York and all of that kind of stuff. And then they stopped at They stopped at this bagel shop around the corner. And this guy's whole, I guess, promotional thing, it was the red brick, or the yellow brick inn, or whatever he was calling it.
Yeah.
Because his son always used to carry a yellow Lego brick around as, like, a safety blanket.
Okay.
Like, it was just his thing. So the guy actually has, like, a yellow, not Lego brick, but it's just a piece of stone outside that's painted yellow. And they went to this bagel store that's a specialty bagel shop. They do, like, rainbow bagels.
Oh, yeah.
But the guy did a yellow bagel specifically for him. So when he has guests coming in that kitchen area,
nice.
he has bagels waiting in the morning. Nice. And it's like, oh, damn. Like, the little kind of weird things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish to now, like, have a property that I want to rent.
Wouldn't that be the type of thing that draws people?
Right. And then, like this guy says, it's all about, you know, that picture on Twitter where people show up at their...
And that makes sense. The world is...
Oh, yeah.
Very involved in the internet.
Yeah. But yeah, if you showed up at an Airbnb and there was yellow bagels waiting for you...
I'd be a little suspicious of why they're yellow.
There's a sign.
It explains... I know this explanation of why.
But that's the thing, is all of a sudden you get, like, now you're taking pictures going like, oh my god, there's these weird, like, you know, Simpsons yellow bagels waiting for me at my place. And people are going to be like, oh, that's kind of neat. And the only other cool house was one in LA that these people haven't touched.
Mm-hmm.
So all the rooms are still, like, 70s themed. When people used to do, like, a color scheme to one room and it was that color. So it's like an emerald green room, but all 70s decor.
If you really dived into it, that wouldn't be it.
And they did. Like, they went full on.
Yeah.
So looking at the house, you're like, that is spectacular. And again, it was like 2 or 3 bedrooms and stupidly expensive, but I looked at my wife going, like, if you got enough people to go, and that was the shtick. And that was the thing, like, they didn't want parties going on in their house.
Yeah.
Because a lot of their stuff is one of a kind and stupidly expensive.
Yeah.
But I'm like, to live out like an episode of Mad Men for the, you know, for the weekend while you're in LA, I'm like, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's a very cool show just to watch for that aspect.
And it's just
of
the
it.
U.S.
Yeah, so far they're just in the U.S. But to me, that's kind of it's like, oh, I never think of that because I don't Airbnb for one.
Yeah.
So, but 2, I don't think about it as like, oh yeah, people should totally be leaving out amenities for people. But you're a hotel.
Yeah.
You are a
You're staying at your house.
Yes.
Until
and I mean, that's not where Airbnb started. Airbnb legitimately was like the couch surfing website. Like, hey guys, I have this couch available. Like, if you want to stay for, you know, $10 a night, go for it.
It gives competition to the hotels.
And it really does now, and that's where hotels are like, they're stepping on our, you know...
Oh no, then upgrade your services.
Well, yeah, and that's the big piece is, I can stay in a house with amenities, or I can stay at your hotel with nothing.
Yeah.
And again, usually when I go on vacation...
A hotel is...
A hotel's a bed.
Yep.
And a place to poop. Yep. Like, I'm good. Shower, poop, sleep... Done. I'm Nick's happy. I don't need the mini bar. I don't need, you know, anything else is extra to me. But again, I'm not spending $900 a night
No.
on these places. So
No.
either way, that's what I've been up to. So stay here if you're into that kind of stuff on Netflix. Pretty good show.
Well, we kind of covered most of my gaming.
A little, yeah.
Spider-Man.
It's like we've been doing all the same. Yeah. Woo!
The only other thing I've done actually for gaming is still kind of Crossing the Souls.
Nice. How far have you gotten in Crossing the Souls?
The brother finally has the power.
Yeah, he does.
Finally. That took a while.
Yeah, shocking kind of though, isn't it? Like, not
A
shocking,
little bit.
but a nice twist.
It's kind of sad.
It is.
Like, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Having a character named after me and the younger brother dies. I'm like, oh.
Oh.
What's going on here? Spoiler alert, by the way.
It really is a big piece to the game, like, because when you first get that the do-what thing, you're like, okay, I can see dead people, like, whoop-de-doo.
And fight them.
And then after you fight dead people, like, come on, I don't want this stone anymore. But then once the brother comes into it,
Well, and then you get him.
Yeah.
And it's like,
he can pop
Bart.
bubbles. Yeah.
pop
He's
up.
legitimately the annoying
No, and
little
it's like-
brother. Yeah.
What do you do?
Nothing until he's dead.
And then yeah, you get him, and that was a little confusing at first when they first like, you can control 2 people.
Yeah.
And it's like, but what if one's under attack and
And then you have to fight the things off. Or yeah, I know it's
they,
yeah. It works.
That part is kind of I'm still figuring out.
Yep.
I escaped the school.
Nice.
I think that's the last part I remember.
Yep.
So not very far in. There's a couple henchmen for the main villain, I assume, or interrogating people.
The main villain's pretty badass in that game too.
He's a big dude.
He's big and he's mean.
Yep. And he's obviously a demon because his eyes are pink.
But people screw up, like, you know, the like one lone henchman guy walks in and it's like, you were supposed to do this, and he's like, I'm a sorry bot, dead, and you're like, oh, cool. This guy's just,
You're that type of guy.
yeah, you're that kind of boss, are you? Neat.
And yeah, I think I'm on the way back to home because they
Yes.
trying to, because you figure that everybody knows where you live and they're going to kill your family. And
Yes,
stuff.
you're trying to get back to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
There's a lot of cool twists. There's a lot of cool turns. Like the story in that game, I think is very, very cool. But yeah, all of a sudden when your brother's just like, whoomp, and
I
then
was thinking, are they serious? Like,
yeah.
like what?
Did they seriously just pull that move? Like, yeah, good twist.
The boss fights are a bit challenging.
Yes.
That Prince impersonator.
Yes.
That fight took a little bit.
From the purple people or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see where you're getting this from.
Yeah. I know this reference. I'm a child of the 80s. I know what's going on.
Kind of. I would almost consider us more children of the 90s because we don't really remember 80s.
No, we're right on that cusp. We're actually, I think, honestly, if you were born like 85 towards the 90s, like, you're not going to remember a whole lot.
No.
But our parents did enough backtracking.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
Star Wars came out in the 80s.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But if you were a 90s kid, like, if you remember the 90s.
Or 70s, sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
first
into
one,
the
yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
But, like, parents were like, you know, you got to an age where all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is cool, you gotta watch it. Star Wars, Indiana Jones. All this stuff from the 70s and 80s kind of still worked into our popular media growing up. So I think 85 was kind of that cutoff where it's like parents were still like, oh, you have to see this cool stuff. And now it's making a resurgence now that we're all older. It's like, oh my god, you have to
This
see
is what
Star Wars.
my parents showed me. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I look at my movie collection and how, like, my oldest movies.
Yeah.
Like, they're Disney, obviously, so they're back to the 50s, but
Sure.
yeah, it's a whole bunch.
Well, and I still laugh. Like, my dad is not a Star Wars guy at all. But he still made sure I saw Star Wars because he knew how big a
It's
deal
the
Star
big
Wars.
thing,
Yeah, he
yeah.
knew what Star Wars. Like, he's like, Star Wars is big. Like, we have to watch Star Wars. And it's like, okay. And now I talk to him, and he's like, I don't know what's in Darth Vader. Sure, like there's a guy. And you're
I
like,
lost track of this.
good job, Dad. Like, way to be.
You got me to this point, thank you.
Yeah, you got me here. That's all I needed.
I'll take over from here.
Like, Indiana Jones was bigger for him, Rambo, that kind of stuff. The Steven Seagal movies that we'd watch on the weekends. Like, but again, that was all the Lethal Weapon movies, 80s action flicks. Watching on the TBS Superstation, I was having this conversation with a staff member where, and I mean, we talked about this a year ago, But the movie studios, one of them was thinking of doing the clean versions of their movies to be included on the Blu-rays and stuff. And people were like, that's not how movies are meant to be seen. And I'm like, but that's how I saw half the movies growing up, was on TBS Superstation when like Joe Pesci was about to swear and his voice went from like really annoying Italian guy to, you know, Bob from down the street who's like, shoot. You know. Oh, dog. But, because we were talking about video games, and just, he checked out the Cyberpunk, that long trailer, and he's like, there was a lot of nudity in that trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, CD Projekt Red's kind of...
That's their thing.
they're okay with the nudity, because they'll tell whatever story they need to tell.
Yeah.
And he goes, in a video game it would be nice if... Because he has small children. And he's like, I only really get to play games when my kids are around. He's like, it'd be nice if I could hit a button and make it all, you know, at least put something on sort of thing. And he's like, and it is a video game.
I mean, nudity would be easier, but
right.
The violence and that...
The violence, and he doesn't, the violence he's okay. Like, he's like, I can kind of play around that sort of thing. And he's like, it's the nudity that just all of a sudden pops up and you're like, oh my. And he's like, I wish there was a button. And I'm like, in Conan Exiles there is. Like, you can go from loincloth and, you know, that kind of thing to nothing.
Yeah.
And he's like, see, that would be nice. And I'm like, it's a TBS Superstation button, man. Like, it's, you know.
Yeah. I mean, all those stuff, I'm catching on to those references.
Yeah.
I think I got the Ghostbuster.
The movie, the Buster Ghost
yeah,
Tour. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Find all those little things.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a cool game.
It's kind of the same boat as you, now that Spider-Man and life in general is starting to pick up again. I don't know how much time I'm spending on this game.
Yeah.
I do. You have a PS4. Welcome to my life. So many systems, so many things to do.
So much stuff to do.
I did watch a couple movies.
It's okay. I'm just throwing stuff at you. It's cool. What did you watch movie-wise?
Kind of speaking of older movies, Lady and the Tramp.
Nice. That's a classic. I hope they don't redo that one live action.
I don't know. Well, you could.
You could.
Because there are actually humans
there
in
are.
that.
There are.
There's
I'd like
quite
to
a
see
few
how they
humans.
handle the Siamese cats in a new age that we're in.
I was
going
to say, I saw that and I'm like, wow.
We are Siamese.
That is very racist.
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Just their voices and the songs.
You know, in all honesty, though, if you watch that stuff, like, even Peter Pan, like, there's an entire song of, like, you know, why the red man's red or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's a good teaching point.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know
and
what that Siamese twin...
The Siamese cats, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's... I don't know if a kid looks at it and goes, like, ah, racism. Or if it's just two cats singing a song.
I think it'd be two cats singing.
It's two cats singing a song.
I do like in that one, at that movie though that they actually do go from the dog's perspective.
Yes.
And
everything's like below the knee.
And you don't see the humans' faces that much.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Unless the dog's kind of
they're at distance, and then you can see the faces.
Yeah, but yeah, everything's from that like below the table kind of.
Yeah.
The camera is essentially
she's so
being
tiny.
Yeah. Lady. Yes. That was a good movie. That was a good movie. And we get Bella Notte out of that one. That's a decent song out of all of them. And, you know, the spaghetti scene.
Yes.
You know, everybody loves the spaghetti scene.
I think I may have fell asleep for that 30 seconds.
Probably.
Because, you know, I'm fighting something too.
Yeah.
Because I remember they started eating the spaghetti, and then I must have, and then the spaghetti's all done. I'm like, I missed it. Oh well, I know how.
You've seen it. You know how it goes.
I know that reference and everything. I know what that little piece is. I don't need to go back and rewind it.
I forgot what I was watching, but someone as a human tried to recreate that, but without using like their hand. Like they did the whole shit. Yeah. So with their nose, like they pushed a meatball over across the table, sort of. So they got like tomato sauce all over there. You're just like, they're like, I'm trying to be romantic, and you're like, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, work it out real well. Yeah.
Here you go.
That's a good movie, though.
Oh, yeah. Other movie I watched was Jack the Giant Slayer.
Oh, how was that one?
Not a terrible movie.
Okay.
Not great.
I was gonna say that one seemed like one of those weird off-budget, like people are doing...
It lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
It was, well, you have to do the giant CGI.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was what it was.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a film.
I was a little surprised Stanley
Tucci
had a little bit of a fight scene, and he was actually decent. He was winning against Ewan McGregor.
Clearly, Ewan McGregor did not have the high ground.
At one point, yes, he did not have the high ground. But then that worked to his advantage, which...
Clearly, Obi-Wan just wins fights. It's just... I'd still have to see a movie, and it's like, yes, but I have the low ground! And it's like, wait, what?
The ending to that movie, I don't know if they were planning a sequel.
Probably, because everybody plans a trilogy nowadays.
Well,
but
have you seen it?
No, and I don't care, so go nuts.
Well, no, because the whole thing is because the giants are evil.
Yes.
And the only way the humans pushed them back was they captured a dragon. Or a dragon.
A giant.
They captured a giant, killed it, ripped its heart out, made a crown out of, and added some black magic into it, made a crown out of it so that the king put it on, he can control the giants.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie could have gone way darker than it did, and probably been a better movie.
But that's how you get rid of the giants, because obviously they can't fight them off.
Yeah, so you just mind control them into...
Because that's how the original king did it, was you climb that, because it wasn't beanstalk, but back in their past, it was giants go back up there, stay there.
Sure.
And then humans cut down them, and over time, the giants became a myth. They didn't exist. And then this happened again, and then
the beanstalk grew.
Beanstalk grew. It all started over again. And then at the end of it, it happens again where, it's, hey, dragon, or...
You just really wanted dragons in this film. Chris's whole thing is like, you know what would have made this Dragon Slayer movie better? Dragons.
This giant... It's happening again where obviously that was the final moment. The giants came in. No.
I keep wanting to say dragons now in my head.
I know.
You got me on
I'm trying.
Got me on the thing. I'm like,
to.
Got me wanting to say it.
And so he sends them back up, and then it shows them how they have. So they get together, they have kids, and they're telling a story, and then it kind of fast forwards ages through time, and they're recreating the crown, which comes to the crown that we know of, that the English monarchy has, but it's in a glass case,
right?
And the story's just been told down by ages, and then at the end of it, a guy who looks, or a teenager who looks suspiciously like a young Stanley Tucci, look at the thing and grins. And then saying, I don't know if you're trying to go for a modern...
That'd be weird.
Giant...
That's your trilogy, is like the classic fairy tale version,
a
modern version with
we would have a better time handling the giants now.
Yeah, you mean with like airplanes and bombs and... Yeah. Bring it, yo.
We don't need no crown.
Yeah. We have a military, thank you.
It'd be so much easier.
But twang!
But yeah...
The giants come down, they're like, fee, fi, fo.
How did we not notice this place with our airplanes?
Yeah.
Because in the original thing, they said, when the beanstalk went, people who climbed up were like, oh, we're going to heaven. The giants' world is in between heaven and earth.
I want the third movie to be in the future.
There is no third. There's not even a second movie.
Well, the second movie is going to take place now, in present date time, and the third movie, clearly in my headcanon trilogy, takes place in the future.
We send a nuke up to the...
No, they've all got future tech too, and that's where the real fight starts. No. Then we call in predators and aliens, and look at me go. The Millennium Falcon appears. Ready Player One. It's pretty much just Ready Player One.
Pretty much.
Yeah, by that point. The Iron Giant show. That's what it is, see?
Iron Giant.
That's where the Iron Giant comes from. That was one of those movies that came out, and I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to... Like, I felt like they were doing one of those movies where, like Disney comes out with Finding Nemo, and DreamWorks came out with Shark's Tale.
Yeah.
Like there's always like
counter.
there's the big budget film, and then there's like the medium budget film that's like, we're gonna try riding the coattails of this one. I was always trying to figure out what the big budget one that the Giant Slayer movie was trying to follow, because it's like, because even when like the Snow White and the Huntsman came out,
Yeah.
you know, there was other stuff. You know, people were going on the big princess craze and all that stuff. So.
Well, and they were starting the remakes of everything.
So that was like another company going like, oh man, Disney's doing a bunch of live action remakes. Snow White's available. Let's just do a Snow White story.
Yeah.
And they hopped on that one. That's where I think Jack and the Giant Slayer kind of lived. It just didn't have anything to latch on to at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of gruesome end to that movie too.
Well,
because they actually killed one giant.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. All of a sudden, they're like cutting dark, you know, doing dark magic stuff. I feel like that would have been a better movie overall for.
It was magic of some kind. I don't know if it was. Magic.
Well, it doesn't matter though. They're cutting the heart out of a guy and using magic. It's pretty dark. Like,
yeah.
Like I feel like that was the whole film, but that would have been a much easier to market film. Want to see a bunch of people get smooshed by giants? Like, come watch this movie.
People were smooshed, but
I would have watched that film.
Because eventually the giants do make it down again, and they start smooshing things.
Good. And then you have a giant monster movie. See, it's already better.
Yes.
And then the humans bring in like the Yoggers and see in the Pacific Rim 3.
You just a whole bunch of movie tie-ins here.
Yep. That's what I do now. I just
tie them all
in. Pacific Rim cross Giant Slayer.
Yes, with Iron Giant. Which actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah, he's pretty much a Yogger.
Yeah.
A sentient Yogger.
From the future, we sent him back. He didn't want to come out.
Terminator.
Now we're just tying a whole bunch of series together.
It's all connected.
All these movies are connected.
You thought the Marvel Cinematic Universe was a giant undertaking. Look at all of Hollywood. It is just one
they
big...
just tie everything together.
Everything's one giant connection.
The other thing, I watched a few more episodes of Altered Carbon.
Cool concept for a show.
Have you actually watched?
I'm on episode like 3 or 4.
That's
somewhere where you are.
Well, I've watched 3 more, so I'm now on. Just finished episode 4.
Nice.
So I'm on episode 5.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in there.
What was your last thing?
I don't remember. Because I was watching it and then I just stopped.
This last episode I watched.
Yeah.
Just showed how much of a badass this character is.
Yes. The hotel stuff was cool.
The hotel stuff is interesting.
Yeah.
I really hope the AI gets his own body and starts wandering out, because he would do more.
Yeah.
He could do more.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, there's some cool concept stuff to that show. Some really cool choreography for some of the fight stuff.
Oh, yeah. Just that, because the last thing was he was getting tortured.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just when he escaped and just boom, boom, and just literally walking through an entire building and then comes out just, it's not my blood.
Yeah.
None of it is.
Yeah, we're good. Need a Band-Aid? No.
It just, that just like, oh, crap.
Yeah. Yeah, like...
It's a bit gruesome, some of it.
Yeah, but it's not like they don't advertise that. Like,
like, he literally rips in and...
Yeah.
Hard. I'm like,
Temple of Doom in it.
To yourself. Priest did it to himself.
Well, if you need a sacrifice, like, no one's available. Guess. Someone's got to do it.
I guess.
But yeah, good. Like, it didn't grab my interest enough where I'm like, must watch all, like, must binge show.
No, but the whole concept of plugged in,
yeah,
and that is
it.
you.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
Oh, yeah.
How the world goes.
Are you kidding? Cloud save it? Well, like, you know, we'll be cloud saving our brains up pretty, you know.
And that's how people live forever.
Yeah.
They just go into different bodies that can't afford it, essentially, and just die without getting their neck or brain.
I think it's like episode 1 where those people get their daughter back who was in a car accident, but
she's
in like lady. She's like an old lady meth head, like in that body sort of thing, and it's like. The dad's like, this isn't our daughter, and it's like, this is the best they could do because we have no money, and I'm like,
And yeah, the guy turns around. You want a new one? Pay for it.
Right, and that, like, in my head, as soon as they did that scene, I'm like, that's a scary reality where people are like, you know, your daughter dies in a car accident, and yes, it's heartbreaking, but, you know, you go through the motions, and you have to grieve and move on with your life. This one, it's legitimately like, you don't have that process anymore. It's like, oh, we're going to wait for our daughter to come back, and she's going to come back.
That's brought up in this episode, really, because on the kind of the side story with the policewoman there, where she brings back her grandma in a tattooed guy's body.
Yeah.
And her mom is, this isn't right.
Right.
And
like, really, it's that playing with nature where it's like, you know, when we die, we that's the shtick.
Yeah,
like, you know,
it.
we're done, not...
You don't, as they put it, you don't get spun back up.
Right. Yeah. Like, it's a very cool concept for that kind of stuff.
Crime-wise, it makes sense. You spin them back up, killed you.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
But just,
yeah, it's a very weird kind of
that gray
thought process to have, because it would be very cool.
People would do it. They would
Sure.
back themselves up because I want to live forever.
Well, and if it's easy as like, you know, an SD card in the back of my neck, like,
yeah,
done.
And if I'm backing myself up every, what is it? I think I said 32 hours,
something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there just a quick save button somewhere on my?
Hit your head hard enough.
Yeah. Quick saved. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like it. I am getting more into it.
Yeah.
Not because of the nudity, and because there's a lot.
There is a lot, but again, that's part of the shtick too with that show. And it's not that it's nudity for nudity's sake. A lot of it is like the process is, you know, they're cutting bags out, or bodies out of, like, you know, formaldehyde bags essentially. And
well, there was that one sex scene that was very like, hey, you guys are actually doing a lot of different positions.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Things are happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, and that's part of, I think, that whole replacement body thing too, is people are more willing to use their bodies for things they wouldn't normally do, because if you're rich enough or whatever, there's a replacement.
Well, yeah, the rich lady or the rich wife said, me and my husband have been around for hundreds of years. We've had 21 kids together.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
and one of their daughters is 67.
Sure.
And it's like, all right.
And you just keep living, and honestly, like, it would be a thrill seeker's dream. Like, jump out of an airplane. You don't even need a parachute at this point. But for people who dig that kind of stuff, like, it would be like, that would be their dream, because it's like,
what does it feel like?
Yeah, I want to know what it feels like to actually.
But I mean, the problem with that would be they'd smash their head and then they're done.
Well, they would take precautions around, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, like,
as soon as I land, my head pops and goes somewhere.
But that's the thing is, like, yeah, it brings up a lot of cool questions. It's very cool for the sci-fi thought process, because a lot of things in sci-fi we have now. So pushing the boundaries of sci-fi, it's like, what's that scary future that we can kind of think of now?
And I think we kind of touched on, but this is a Japanese thing before.
I believe so.
Anime or comic.
Yeah,
I believe.
I think something like that.
So those guys always think of this stuff.
They've got some weird ideas, but that's like cool fights in photography stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. What was I? Oh, there was something about that. The guy who did the Daredevil choreography is making a movie.
What was it?
With a bunch of stunt people.
Nice.
It's like a stunt people action movie.
Alright.
And I'm like...
So they're doing real stuff.
Yeah, so like the stunt choreographer from Daredevil's essentially, I think, helming this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants to do a movie where the stunt people actually get to act.
Yeah.
Now, how well that all goes down is another question, because whether they can act or not is questionable. Like, I'm not saying they can't.
We'll see. Give them a shot.
And that's essentially, I think, what he wants to do is he's like, there are people that can actually act. Let's give them a shot to actually act and do the action stuff. So, but yeah, like I think the action in that show is good. Like, I think the settings are all good. I feel like I'm in some weird futuresque dystopian something, or you know.
Yeah. And it's trying to. Once again, I go back to it's trying to find time now.
And yes, that's
trying to find time for all this stuff.
Time where I can actually concentrate and
just
watch and. Pancake, you don't need both antlers. They don't actually go on you.
But yeah, that's all I've.
Cool.
That's what I've done.
Cool. Tony's running a marathon.
He is.
That's why he's not here. So that's.
Hear from him next week.
Yes.
Probably.
And Brian goes to pick up a PlayStation in. Now.
Should be now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, he's going to pick up a PlayStation, so that's cool because unlike me, my post guy we have 8,000 packages show up at the house, so he just.
He knows you guys.
We're good, yeah. But Brian had to go pick his up, so he also got the Spider-Man stuff. So if he's here next week, you'll be hearing a lot of Spider-Man talk, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because Tony will be talking about this.
Yes. I'll still be playing.
It's funny because I jump on and there's there's 6 people on. Marvel Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man.
And at one point, it was just before I went to bed, I'm like, NHL 18! Let's throw a monkey wrench in this whole shit.
Try something else.
Wahahaha. And I'm still not changing my avatar on my PlayStation because it's a chihuahua with a suit on.
Mine is South Park person.
Yes, yours is.
Mysterion.
Yeah. I changed, I went onto the PlayStation app on my phone and changed, one thing to a Yoshi egg because that's what I always change it to. But, my main avatar is still that one. I'm like, I'm not messing with that, man. The rest of the avatars on the PlayStation aren't as good as my, dog-headed weirdo thing.
I do actually, kind of speaking of avatars, the Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
How they switched to, I'm Daredevil now.
Are you?
Yeah.
I switched. I'm the guy with the N on his forehead.
Oh, still?
Yeah. They've updated him. He's prettier now, but I'm still that
over
one.
to Daredevil.
Yeah. You can just be all the different characters from their shows.
Well, apparently Iron Fist has learned from its mistakes.
That is what my coworker had told. So, he texted me yesterday, Iron Fist? And I'm like, Spider-Man? Come on, man. Told you what I was doing today. And he's like, they've been listening to all the complaints. And it's good.
And apparently, if you were watching it, the last episode, watch after credits. I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to spoil it for myself.
I'm assuming it'll lead into Daredevil. But
I think that's what the tie-in is.
Yeah, because that's the next one.
This year?
Out. This year. I still haven't finished What's Jessica Jones. Oh, man.
Cage, so.
I have Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and now Iron Fist. I'm like, I am
going to wait a bit until I have time.
Until the next Defenders comes out, and then I'll watch them all.
Never.
Either way, that's been the post-credit show. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, you can hold on. Yeah,
that's working.
Like and subscribe to our channel, whether you're watching on Twitch or you're watching on what's it called? The other one, not YouTube, but YouTube is one of the ones you can like and subscribe. Twitch and Mixer is the third one that we are on. So you can subscribe, do whatever it is that website allows you to do. You can also join our Discord, which I just popped into the chat, so you can find our Discord channel by clicking on that nice little link. You can also support us by going to our Streamlabs page or our Patreon page. All of that can be found by going to barrelrollnews.com. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week where we'll be talking about more news, more stuff, all that lovely
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man! Bye, everybody.
Bye.